Hello and welcome. I'm Aaron Waugh, NLP and Mind Skills trainer, and today I want to speak on the duality of patterns in our relationships. Do you know that in relationships we have a tendency to reflect patterns of behaviour? A pattern can be reflected by each other in many ways, some of which is good and some of which is negative. The pattern or behaviour itself can mean one thing to one person and yet mean something completely different to the other. As couples, there are shared reflective patterns which can be detrimental to our relationship unless one of us calls it out by noticing what is happening. The pattern can be many things, including being too assertive or passive, becoming self-justifying, or even being too giving, and the worst case, ignoring your partner. This can lead to relationships breaking down as we reflect the negative and forget to reaffirm the positive behaviours that we have in our life. Now, all of those behaviours have a positive intent. Self-protection, protection of another, not wanting to argue, not wanting to hurt someone. However, our positive intent is not always useful to ourselves or the other person. In my own life, I've had several relationships where I've tried to protect the other person from being hurt. However, the eventuality of things is that the hurt is worse when it all comes out. Sometimes being upfront on the truth of the matter will strengthen a relationship, even though we may have initially caused hurt to our loved one. Sometimes we ignore or hide from the truth of the matter, which can weaken us and cause instability in our own mind, which can then lead us to checking out of a relationship, all because we don't want to hurt the other person. In converse, the other person thinks things are going great and relaxes into a state of satisfied bliss, which then pushes us further down the rabbit hole. This can lead to depression, anxiety, problems at work, acting out, and even sleeping disorders, and all sorts of other negative consequences, all because our originating behaviour is being fed and reinforced by those around us. In the last year, I've heard of many couples getting separated, and in my humble opinion, I believe the duality of the reflective patterns that we live on a daily basis are mismatched to the point where one person can be so dissatisfied with their life that the need for change becomes paramount, and so gets to the point of changing their pattern with dire consequences to those around them. Now, if we can learn to listen and communicate to the better half in our relationship, we can take the first step in redeveloping a better relationship with that person, independent of the hurt that you might initially make them feel because of that news of difference that we're experiencing, as it may be something that they are completely unaware of. While couples counselling is a big money spinner in today's society, I think sometimes just being able to talk about what we're seeing in each other's patterns is enough for good change to occur. As an example, to start a conversation, it's like you could say, "I love you and I want to talk to you about something that's been on my mind recently." We talk about happiness and its pursuit and all the things that we should do to get it. However, happiness is something that cannot be easily captured or even held for very long. And I believe that self-truth and contentment is just as powerful if we are to continue down the road of a good and solid relationship with ourselves and with others in our lives. If we're content, then the reflection of that contentment can be shared, which can then bring on harmony to what otherwise could be a downward spiral in our relationship. If you agree or have an opinion on what you think about this subject, then please feel free to drop us a line, message, and would love to hear from you and maybe chat and respond to things. Please like and share, and join us for more mind skills to create your future now.